welcome to GlassCast and WindowCast. I am Sara Neiswanger, Director of Industry Engagement, with my colleague Melanie Dettmer, Industry Engagement Manager, and our guest Kristin Thomas with Tab Glass and Windows. And we are broadcasting live from the GlassBuild America trade show floor here in Orlando. So we are gathered here to talk a little bit about family business transitions. Yep. And so let's start with that. First, Kristin, tell us a little about yourself and Tab Glass and how you got here.
Appreciate it. My father was one of those wild owners that bought a glass company without being in the glazing industry. And as I've been in the industry for a little over 19 years, I've realized that there are a few people like that out there, but not many. And it is a crazy endeavor to try to jump into. And as we can see at this trade show floor, the industry is so huge. So to take a bold step like that, coming from construction, but just going into a whole new trade, you really learn from the very basics. So we came in as a family, and my brother was in it, and we got to really try to look at the business. What are they doing? From a very fundamental process, and it's a story I love to tell. We walked in the office the very first day, and I'll never forget it, but one of the estimators that had been around for many years asked for a purchase order. And so we were looking at each other like, what is that process here? How do you give a purchase order? And he pulled out a binder, and in that binder there was a series of numbers, and I looked at him and I said, what's the dollar value of your purchase order? And he said, 300,000. And I said, wow, what are you buying? Windows. And just this very simple, all they wrote was $300,000 windows, and I gave him a number, and then the transaction apparently happened. And that was a very scary moment.
Wow.
And so my brother being in process procedures and IT, he quickly like, oh my gosh, we have to do something about this. We have to dive in. And that's really where it all began for us and our endeavors in the glass industry, and just trying to change Tab to bring us into the new world that it was. And when we first began, we were like many subcontract glazers out there, where we were setting up 2 containers on a job site, putting a tarp over the top, cutting everything in the field, and here we are now with 36,000 square feet, many same employees many years later.
That's great.
Yeah, great family of people, great tenured family of people, CNC machines, but the whole works, and just very fundamentally different processes, internal and external. Yeah.
Wow.
So out of curiosity, what is that timeline of when you got involved to when you assumed your current position?
Yeah, I just became president about 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it. The timing was very much so on my dad wanting to step out and vacation more, and really wanting to move on with his life and his period. But I've been in operations for so long there, so I've been a part of the hiring decisions for 10 plus years. I did purchasing for many years, so for me it was just starting at the very basics, and I shared an office with the finance manager for many years, so I got to learn the nuts and bolts of everything going on from the most pessimistic individual at the company for a long time, and that actually probably gave me a good sense to figure out the why of things. I dove into the why very quickly.
I have a question for you, Kristin.
Yeah.
So I know we had similar upbringings just because of our Wisconsin and Minnesota, and my parents too are at their retirement age.
Yeah.
And I just hearing your story, that farmer work ethic that we have, that Midwest work ethic, how do you kind of balance yourself to make sure that you're coming home on the summers, not spending too much time at the job site, kind of like we saw our dads
I feel like you're calling me out with that one.
I'm not, but this is important for all of us to remember us, and
It is. I feel like I go, just like anybody, I go in seasons feeling more successful with that than not. I have a 14-year-old son, so there are things that I like to do with my personal time. I was the president of a Little League for 5 years. I do a lot of things outside, but I have recently I feel like as the business keeps changing, I realize that I need to set some of those things aside so that when there's a free moment, it's to Tab or it's to my son, and that's where my priorities need to be, and my personal life has to take a bigger seat.
But you didn't say you, though.
Yes.
So we'll come back to that. Next episode, everybody. But yeah.
Fair, yes. But I actually, I'm a woman of faith, and I feel like my cup runneth over. So the more that I'm able to give, the more that I feel I have energy for, that it's a constant. So the more that I give, and if I see healthy fruit coming from it, I feel like I am healthier to keep giving.
And you do spend your time incredibly wise. I mean, truly.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I try very hard to
And
do
with
so.
a heart like yours, I mean, who am I to talk?
Yeah.
I was really looking for tips, and you know that, so I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Even this morning, before coming to this day that I knew was going to kind of just be a rat race, trying to see as many people as possible and take advantage of GlassBuild. And I have 3 new team members on the floor, not new team members, but people who have never been to GlassBuild before. And for me, it was, how do I get them to see everything they want to see? So before I left today, I went outside where I'm staying and I took a walk next to a lake. And I just breathed, and it felt so good, and it was 20 minutes, but those are my moments. I'm like, even if I got a little 15-minute window right here, I'm going to steal it, and that's mine, and my phone went on silent, and I took it, and that gives me enough energy to keep going.
I've been repeating some is better than none to myself often.
Yes.
In that same way, because instead, I can't go to the gym for whatever. I'm like,
that's my philosophy on chocolate, actually.
Excellent.
That's a good rule of thumb.
This is good advice.
So you bring up lots of topics about getting into this, and this timeline has definitely changed a lot of things. And the biggest part of my role that's changed is feeling like you're driving the ship. And the moment that I stop trying to do new things, I do feel stagnation through my entire company. I feel like they're all looking for me. They're all waiting for me to do something. Like, why aren't you moving on that topic? Why aren't we having more discussions? Why isn't there more flexibility planned, transparency given? And it is, the role has definitely changed a lot. So while I still get stuck in the weeds with purchasing and things from time to time, I am very much, especially lately, just feeling like they need me. Like, they need me, they're looking to me, and I have to equip myself with resources and people to keep being a source that I can be for my company. So.
Yes, it's not only thinking about how your business is growing and succeeding among the industry, but making sure internally your team is feeling heard and
are they
equipped.
well fed?
Yes, yes, well said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that note, in your last year and a half, or even most recently, what is something that is keeping you up at night?
Part of one of the phrases that kept coming to me through this whole thing, and it's actually probably the perfect answer to that. One of my favorite motivational speakers, I think we all, if we're honest with ourselves, have a self-help book collection, even if it's in our Audible, right?
Okay.
I wish the term was in
Print, tech, I got it.
Can we not call it self-help? Because it just, I don't like the connotation.
Personal development.
Yes.
Thank you. Still even that,
I have a
Nuggets of
personal
wisdom.
development
Yes.
quiver, yes, digitally and by book. I just bought a new house and I have a real bookcase, and I'm so excited that
I love that.
finally get to display them all out. But one of my favorite motivational speakers is Tony Robbins, because he just cuts to it, and he's not afraid to say the really hard stuff. And the real part of that is that because he might have 10 minutes with someone, and that's it. And in that 10 minutes, you have to make an impact. That is your job. Mm-hmm. So he has this phrase, you get what you accept. And I can't tell you how often I sit inside of that phrase. A couple years ago, I hung it in the shop. I put it on a marker board in the shop, and a lot of people didn't take time to understand it in the way that I feel it, and they went at it kind of negatively, are like, yeah, we don't accept rah, 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 whatever that list is.
Right.
But for me, I see it as positives and negatives. You get what you accept. The things that keep me up at night, they are choices I'm making. If I have employees and their behaviors that are keeping me up at night, I'm choosing to keep them. If I have contractor relationships or brought a subcontractor on and I don't like how it's going, I'm choosing to accept that. All it takes is me going to that individual, going to that sub, going to that client, and actually face-to-face being transparent, just being bold enough to go have that conversation, and I can either fix it or I can accept it. And so you get what you accept. That's a very real thing for me.
And you can cut to the chase with kindness in the same way, because
Yeah, I had
that was powerful. Thank you.
I had some interesting employee dealings lately. The construction world is a tricky one, and people are coming to work with more issues than ever before, and it causes lots of stressors. And when an employee shows up for work, whether it be a remote employee or actually physically present, you are no longer getting 100% of an employee. So like we used to joke, like, we need 8 hours out of this guy. You know, you were never getting 8 hours out of that guy.
Right,
you might
yes.
be getting 6.5 at best. Well, now we're taking an individual that they are not showing up as 100%. They got in an argument with their wife. They don't know how they're going to pay rent. They had a flat tire on the way to work, which actually took all the money out of their bank account. They're running a deficit. They are dealing with alcoholism, whatever their issue is. So you're actually getting, Joe walks in, and Joe, I don't have a Joe on my staff, so don't worry. Joe walks in and he's at 60% that day, just like at a given.
Right.
And then anything can happen, that something doesn't go right with the installation and he gets frustrated. Now I've got Joe at 50%. And that just keeps decreasing throughout the day. So for me, it's like, how do you approach all those people?
Right. And how do you get through when they're in that, the show, for example, getting ready for the show and everything, you get into this pace, and if you're out there trying to, deal with life, anything, but how do you break through to people who are just stuck into
it comes back to what you said. It's
and this is temporary for me, right? But I mean, when a whole years of your life can feel that way.
Yeah, it is down to the core. I said something to my brother last night. I said, when I see really good communicators, because this show is filled with, all nationalities, all age groups, male, female. It is a wild trade show to come to, and when you actually take the opportunity to talk to many people, there are some super communicators in this room.
Yes.
And what I said to him last night is, I'm finding that the best communicators out there are not talkers, they are listeners. And it is a wild thing. So for me, to go to my employee and go, can I just talk to you for a second? And that has nothing to do with me talking. It's, are you doing okay? Like, is everything okay? What do you need? What can I do for you? Is there anything, like, do you need a vent? Whatever that is, you need to go for a walk. Here's $10 for lunch. Like, whatever that moment looks like, I feel a very big responsibility. It is one of the things I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I know I'm supposed to be in leadership. I know I'm supposed to be dealing with people because I have it to my core in me to say, what can I do for you? And that, pros and cons to that, but it is it is a part of my personality to try to see someone. I see you, I see that everything's not okay. You don't have to share everything with me, but I'm here if you need something.
Right. You really, I'll make this quick, but what you had just described is what I feel like I have with Sara, and as we develop our team. And it's true. And every talker needs a listener, and every listener needs a talker, and always that balance. And this is probably why we connected so greatly.
Probably.
So it is a beautiful community like this. Yeah.
But you can take the roughest individuals, truly the roughest individuals.
Like me, right? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. You and your leather pants over here. And to the core, they might be completely alone every night when they go home. They might not, whatever's going on in their world, it's just they're all people showing up at work, and you cannot ignore that. They were having a seminar earlier today, and Chip Gentry said, I know that innovations is in the title, I'm going to paraphrase it here, but he said, I know that innovations and technology is in the title of this seminar, but this is actually all about the people. And everything just comes back to the people, because every one of our businesses is true. You can look at the software companies, the machine companies, everything. This new wave of employees that are created for companies just to handle supply chains. These titles, that there's an acronym for it. I don't even know what it is. Supply chain solution engineer or manager. Those didn't exist a couple years ago. So it is all about the people, and you have to have the best people on your team to be able to handle any of those situations, and you have to be able to respect and understand them to a personal level enough that they feel satisfied for them to keep putting back into your company.
Where they can also be themselves and feel safe.
And have fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, fun is good.
Yeah.
So going back to your comment earlier about, coming from within yourself and the need to be bold in conversations, since you're you're caring for all of the people at your company, and you're also in charge of your company and its growth.
Yeah.
How do you choose to handle some of those times when you need to be bold and when it's uncomfortable? And have you had any examples lately of
Too
all
many.
of that?
I find it is one of my hardest battles. That may keep me up the most because it's sort of a conflict of my spirit and who I am, just by nature. I want to work with the best in people. I want to see someone and what they are capable of, and I want to help them launch. But the reality is that they just might not be there, or they just might not be interested, or they just don't care in the way that I can see. Like, I see people in a way that I hope they see themselves sometimes, and a lot of them just don't, and it's because they're disheartened about 90 other factors in their lives.
Yep.
So it's a tough thing for me, but yeah, I've had the longer I'm in the trade, the longer I'm a part of hiring, the more I feel slightly pessimistic, and it's a necessity for the business. My mom was really worried about me coming into the business, and she's been very open about that because she knows I'm a bigger heart than a money chaser. And so not a money chaser, I don't want to say a money chaser, but she's worried about, can I run a business that's profitable? And like, can profit be the
Sustain and
is
grow.
profit my goal? Because profit actually is why you're in business. Yeah, so my mom has been able to articulate to me her nervousness about my big heart and the necessity of striving for profit in a business. And can I make those two things work together? Can I have fulfillment in it? And can I do well in the business in that? And when will it be time to set one aside and focus on the other? So it is something that I'm very mindful of, especially when my mom is like a joy woman, especially since she retired. She's just happy, like all the time.
And it honestly sounds she's doing what we were talking about with Tony Robbins, just cutting through it, clear as kind.
Yeah,
and like she cares about you.
And she would never. She does not say things in a mean way ever.
No,
but
ever.
For her to say that, it has stuck in my head, and so I have to find that fine balance. But getting a little more pessimistic because more things happen to you. I have had people leave the company in every which way that every glass owner out there, every subcontractor out there has had. I've had them have the almighty carrot dangled in front of them for $2 extra and they leave 12 years of employment. I've had somebody say they were going to move far away and then start their own company next door as a competitor.
Jeez,
I have had, I feel like I've had it all, and then something else happens.
You have, you really have.
Right. And so that just continues, and each one feels a little disheartening, and so it keeps you up at night. Like, what could I do differently? How could I have fostered this differently? And every time I come back to that question, it comes back to that darn quote: "You get what you accept." Because I knew what was happening in the moment, and I just kept living with it. So I was actually talking to
when you had hope, right? You had hope.
100%. Yeah.
And just to go back to with your mom, it's clear she cares about your happiness over anything else. Like clearly. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I was talking to one of my teammates this past week, and we had a situation with a guy who's just one of our best employees, period. Hands down, can do the job all day long. But by keeping him on staff, you're accepting that he's going to be late. You're accepting that he's not going to show up one day. No call, no shows. Your
whole team goes.
You're accepting of all of these behaviors, and that has oddly become too much of the norm. It's like this fine line of what I'm willing to accept as an employer with some empathy, and what it feels like these individuals are now taking a little bit. They're taking advantage of my kindness, me saying, I understand you were a little bit later. I know you have a flat tire issue, so every morning you're gonna have an issue until you have money to buy a tire. I know these things, but at what point can I, it just is frustrating because I want to just say, just get to work. Like, I'd pay you to be here every day and to do your job, and you're not showing up. period.
Could you just say that though?
No, I feel like I'm almost at a point where I can't, but the conversation I was having with my colleague,
the balance of
we were talking about what if we do? What if we just try it? What if we rip this Band-Aid and it means that we might have to lose some people and it might be a little bit harder for a little while? Does it mean we go back to having a better staff? Like, can we actually recreate this whole thing and set new expectations, be clear from the beginning and be firm? And I'm right at that moment. Like literally this week, I'm at that moment with so many people. I let a new hire go 2 weeks ago. My gut was just like, this is not happening. This is not the right thing. This is not the right thing for 10 different reasons. And there was a part of me that was like, well, but they're helping with the workload currently, or I'm justified. I'm accepting it over and over. And finally, no, I woke up one morning and I was like, that's it, I'm done.
But you're there.
And I was so happy about it. So it's a...
and it's best for everybody in that sense, right?
It's nerve-wracking though as an employer, because even the smaller your organization is, I'm walking around the trade show today with Dee, who's in my office, and everyone said, "What does Dee do?" Dee does everything. She does a little bit of everything.
She's HR and admin.
Absolutely, but walking around with her and just seeing how much impact the couple people in my staff that they have here. Our office is totally closed today. What would I do without any of these people? I need them, but we all would carry the workload, and I believe that they have shown me over the many years that, hey, if we have to struggle for a little bit to make the culture better and to make this place like a happy place again Monday, then let's do that. And so it has to be a total buy-in, and that just means more conversations inside the team.
Can I, just to make sure I heard it right, you closed your business so everybody could attend?
The office, the finance manager's in there.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, business is still going. I really hope everyone's still working today.
We're watching you.
Yeah, but the rest of the office
the ones
who
needed to come and get, that's...
Yes,
but that's
3 people on our staff have never been here before. Dee's been in the industry longer than I have. A guy, Mark, on our staff's been with us.
And I met them. They're
very long time.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And they're like little kids out here poking buttons, touching things, feeling things.
It's like a show for me,
Yeah.
a show for us.
Yeah,
that's
It's awesome you prioritize an experience like this for them, because hopefully that helps everybody.
It was overdue on my part.
I'm glad we came to Florida as well.
That really helped.
That helps, yes.
No, but that's part of it, right? Yeah, but you took the advantage. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. That's incredible.
So what if we were kind of summing this up a little bit, what is next for you as a leader, and what's next for TAB?
Yeah, I think for myself, and I hope other leaders are at the point, to explain this, I would say that I think there was a shift with COVID, and after COVID, we had to, it was like placed on us that we had to suddenly accept a lot of things that weren't acceptable prior to that.
Yep.
Personal space, personal time,
Yep.
a lot of things that had nothing to do with being in the workplace, frankly. And I was raised, I had a job when I was a kid, and I had a job in college. I've always had a job, and that's just what we do. I have no problem with working, and I'm not one to take a shortcut. I don't mind. My senior quote is still my favorite Bible verse. Narrow is the gate and wide is the path, from Matthew, and that is my life. If there's a easy way, I'm not taking the easy way intentionally, because the reward is lesser. The greater reward is through the narrower gate, and I feel that about everything I do. So as a leader, I need to put more into practice about stopping accepting things. I need to set expectations extremely clear with my employees. What is acceptable, what is unacceptable, what I need from them, and show them, as I always do, what I'm willing to give you if you hold up your end of the bargain. And it kind of goes back to some very fundamental things. They were talking about in a panel earlier, this isn't rocket science. I know you thought you were coming here for like innovations. Innovations means like something new and a nugget. No, the actual thing is flexibility, transparency, communication. Oh my gosh, these are not new topics.
Yeah. Right.
So it's really taking the root of hard work and getting back to it and talking to my team directly and just being clear with everyone and upholding that. My part of that is doing what I say I'm going to do, sticking to it, even when it might make everybody cry for a few days because we're missing a foreman or whatever the situation
Right,
is.
we can pull
Yes.
together.
We will figure this out.
Yeah.
This too will pass.
And what you said with that, just getting back to basics in a way, even for me, like remembering to get a good night's sleep, get some exercise, and get some sunshine.
Yeah.
It's like, are we always trying to fix some? Maybe it's a simpler thing, like giving a hug, giving a smile. Let it,
Right. The greater we take care
And
of ourselves,
also,
the better.
you know, you're influencing other leaders
Yeah.
with the way that with what you do.
Yeah.
And I think that kindness is such an important tip. And yeah,
Yeah.
this was a great one, Sarah.
I know.
going forward, I very recently dabbled a little bit in AI, and there's a couple team members that I have that have been doing it a little bit more. And it's funny, the very first thing I realized about it, I feel silly because I feel behind the 8 ball, but here we go. I'm here. There are so many large projects on my lap, and those get put off.
Yeah.
They just get put off because something is hotter and on fire now. And AI can actually help me bite each one of those mini elephants a lot easier. And I just did not realize that.
The urgent, important task, and then the important task.
Right.
Yes.
So I feel like
Yes.
my growth as a leader and the amount of things I can actually accomplish should drastically increase in the next few months
Right.
because
Well-
I have been awakened.
Yes.
Hot tip from Troy to Groot too, just real quick.
Yeah.
You use Bluebeam, right?
Yes.
So I was asking him about what's going on with AI there. So Claude,
Yes.
they're working with.
Yeah, your new friend, Claude.
Yes. Clark.
Your AI.
But so yeah, some more to come on that. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Are we at time? I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, we can. I mean,
That's it.
yeah. Well, no, I think
No,
AI
I didn't know
is
if
on everybody's
they-
minds for sure. Yeah.
I
This is
feel
where
like just a call to action to all
Yes.
leaders to dare to be bold, dare to do what you're in your gut you know is the right thing to do, and make your force uphold your own standards.
Yes. Well, it sounds like you're creating a very loving and supportive environment, even if it will always be a work in progress,
Well,
obviously.
amen.
But it
But
sounds
you still
like
gotta work. You
it
still
sounds
gotta-
like a really lovely place to be. So
Appreciate that.
well done on what you're building or
Thank you.
continuing to build.
Thank you.
Mel, do you have anything you want to?
I'd rather work with you than like bale hay out on the farm or anything.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
So that's cool.
And we'll end with Skull.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. I was a dairy
your closer.
farmers.
Yes.
Skull.
Every time.
Go Chiefs. No. And on that note, we also want to thank our series sponsors, Dow and Lansing Building Products, for letting this experience happen live at GlassBuild America. And until next time, have a great afternoon, and it was great to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you
Yes.
so much.